Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the State of Ethnic Address. I am, of course, the Egyptian Death Machine, the medium caramel host and master of shithousery that is Aaron Nix. Joining me to discuss the wrestling news and ultimately spend about an hour talking about anime because that's apparently a thing. Like it's not hentai, it's art, apparently.
Yes!
Thanks for that. Now that's stuck in my head, you shithouse. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me is my, of course, dear friend and the much browner of the two of us and really filling out the ethnic quota, at least when Adam Lee's not around, the orange bastard. It is, of course, the man who puts the wood in Bollywood. It's Tanvir. Yeah, baby.
Thank you for having me again, sir. I love it. And you do emit Stanley's energy from The Office. So you saying it's called hentai and it's art really made me happy.
Yeah, I when you said Stan Lee, I thought, what, the Marvel guy? I do admit the same kind of energy because he dead too.
The big black dude from The Office,
the big black dude from The Office.
Yeah, who like everybody can relate to because he gives us that type of energy. It's like, I don't want to fucking be here, and it's like, did I stutter?
Well, he's the one. He's the one with the gif, right? Where he's like,
yeah,
him, yeah. I know him. Yeah, like this is the American Office, right? Not the British one. Yeah. So some people have argued that the American one's better. I'm not entirely sure.
I prefer the American one just because I find it a bit more funny, even though the British one is hilarious. Like Ricky Gervais is so good at that awkward type of energy humor where you're like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, Afterlife, mate.
Afterlife's one of my favorite shit because it's so heartbreaking, but I also love that the way he explained his process.
But it's soul destroying. It's like, mate.
It's the way he explained his process, which was like, this is the show is what would I be if my wife died? I'm like, that's fucking heartbreaking.
It's very powerful.
But also so relatable at the same time because you can see so many things that you can relate to in that show. Like, I relate most to I'm terrible with character names, but I think it's in season 2 with the Indian girl who's at the desk and just says to him like, Tony, please don't kill yourself. Like I relate to that fully because I'm like, don't, please don't. Like, you're breaking my heart.
Anyway, thanks to the State of Depression address.
Like when we talk about toasters, which my girlfriend has banned me from talking about.
Good. Like, because I've got enough toaster on the brain with the amount of shit I've had to go through in the last couple of months. Jesus.
She's like, you're not allowed to talk about toasters or hair dryers. I'm like, okay.
All right, we need to find other electrical appliances. Get that air fryer in the bath, pal.
I'm gonna get the George Foreman out, mate. Grill me to death.
Grill me, hun. Grill me, George. At least it's that George and not the other one. Anyway.
No, we can't go there. We can't go there. Where's Ebenezer?
The Unforgiven Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, so let's get into the wrestling news. So we start off with something a little bit near and dear to my heart and also something that is, well, frankly, quite just disappointing. So obviously I'm very close friends with Nadia Sapphire, as everybody knows. I will try and be as objective as possible with this. Have you seen what Nadia shared on her social media?
Yeah, as soon as you mentioned her name, I'm like, oh, okay, we're going there.
Well, just to be clear, I asked for Nadia's consent to talk about this on the air, so we'll try and cover it in a more sensitive light. And I'll try not to threaten to bombard people with too much aggression. Absolutely. But so the Sun took it upon themselves, without Nadia's knowledge, to post a article which was spread across a number of their different platforms. The Sun in the UK, the United States, and Ireland and Scotland, I believe, a number of different places. So initially, the article, now it should be worth pointing out, this article that was done by M.A. Loreto, your name's out there, so I have no problem mentioning you fucking scum pile, because ultimately you knew what you were doing when you wrote this. Now, they've changed the headline to further sort of benefit. Now, I believe that Nadia did ask for the headline to be changed. So the headline currently reads as Pure Power, female wrestler shares her workout videos and men say she can ruin their lives. Now, originally, this article stated that she had said that, and that quote was accredited to her, which then led to an unbelievable amount of fucking body shaming and violent abuse online. Hundreds upon hundreds of comments on their Facebook page, their Twitter, and a number of other places. So the article reads as this, very quickly, for context. A female wrestler has shown off her curves on social media, getting various comments from users and demonstrating that all body types can be physically fit. So it's been modified. It's clearly been modified, which pisses me off even more. Unfortunately, the original article I do not have to hand now because, well, no, just cowardice is what it is. The TikTok influencer often posts amassing a large number of comments from followers. Anyone who knows Nadia will know she has hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. There's captions and a number of things. Actual tag has been put on here as well so that people can actually follow her, which is good or bad depending on how you look at it, I guess. But it says here Nadia has over 200,000 followers and often posts videos of herself wrestling, working out, and living her life. She recently shared a video of herself talking to various men while dressed in a wrestler outfit, which is similar to a bikini. No, it's not. Her outfit is made. Fuck you. Not you, them. Her outfit is made out of a matching set of a short and top in various blue tones. Can't touch this, reads the text over the clip. Various people drop comments in the clip, encouraging Nadia's videos and praising her looks. See, again, like, yeah, there are people doing that, absolutely, and credit to those people. But Best Booty in Wrestling wrote a follower, not going to lie, I'd let her ruin my life, shared a viewer. In a separate video, Nadia revealed her workout routine, specifically showing the squats that allow her to build up muscle and curves. The clip shows her lifting a weighted bar as she completes various squats. She's wearing grey tights and a tight black top, because apparently that's important. Captioning it, Bootay Building. Best TikTok ever, wrote someone. Dang, wrote somebody else. Trust me, a lot of people have written that. Various women have used TikTok as a platform to preach body positivity and their experiences while working out at the gym. A TikToker named Shelby previously shared a clip of herself working out at the gym while battling body dysmorphia. No one ever talks about how hard it is to build a relationship with exercise that isn't about hating your body, reads the text over clip. After you spent years obsessively losing weight, dieting, and burning calories only to be the smallest version of myself. The video showed her working out vigorously and showing off her gains. So that sounds like a relatively positive article, but it's not actually the one that was originally there. Now, the big issue here is the fact that they've taken it upon themselves without any kind of legal discourse or without any kind of consent to write an article. Now, people are going to argue, well, she puts it out there on social media. That's fine, fair enough. And if it was overwhelmingly positive, as the article would suggest in the first place, we wouldn't have an issue. Unfortunately, the original article essentially was a click and bait article, which was used and designed specifically to garner a reaction online, which it did overwhelming. Now, I'm not going to read them. If people want to check out Nadia's social media, they can. There is some unbelievably hateful and hurtful shit. And as somebody who puts up with that quite a lot myself, not necessarily body shaming, although I do get comments about that. Obviously, people don't like my opinions or my gimmick because people can't tell the difference, and that's their problem, not mine. I just wanted to generally voice my disgust, as everyone does on a weekly basis, it seems, with the absolute shit rag and garbage fucking bullshit cartoon nonsense that the Sun puts out there on a regular basis.
The Sun is such a shitty fucking news outlet.
It's trash. Pure,
it's
unadulterated garbage. You knew what you were doing when you wrote this article. Let's not fucking pretend you didn't. And people are going to say, well, of course you're emotionally invested because she's your friend. I'll be emotionally invested as any woman. Like, first of all, anyone who's seen Nadia Sapphire knows that, you know, from an objective standpoint, that is a beautiful human being in every sense. And I have the real pleasure of knowing that person personally and knowing just how wonderful a human being they are. Somebody who has been there for me, who has always listened. We are besties for a reason. And, you know, to see that and to know that it's that easy to just construe what you like. The fact that they've changed it this is what fucks me off. People will say, oh, they've changed it, so no harm, no foul. No, you shouldn't have fucking put it that way in the first place, you filthy little cunts. Any other fucking winds me up.
Any other fucking newspaper would do a retraction and be like, apologies about that, but not the Sun, because they're fucking twats.
Bearing in mind that this, you know, they're involved with an organization that has, you know, been involved with wiretapping people's phones, and you know, this is stuff that you can freely research and find on the internet as well. I'm not fucking providing conjecture here. The Sun is fucking scum at the highest order. They know they are. This is a paper that took great delight in spreading lies about 96 people who lost their lives during the Hillsborough incident. So if you're a Liverpool fan, you know all about it. And the Sun is pretty much categorically banned in Liverpool for that exact reason, because they are fucking trash.
Plus the newspaper that had Page 3, which
I mean, like, you know, if you're a consenting model, fine. But ultimately, I'll tell you what, Another thing that the Sun did, they had a countdown to when Hermione turned 16.
Yeah, you and Mark mentioned this, and I'm like,
That's fucking paedophilia,
I
is
was
what
like,
that is.
I
There's no way getting around
fucking
that.
forgot about that. Because I remember when Mark mentioned about Millie Bobby Brown, I was like, I remember that, and that's fucking gross. But I completely forgot about the Emma Watson one, because I think I was like similar age, maybe younger when
Imagine
what
being
was going on.
15 going on 16. Like, you know, yeah, she probably got paid an extraordinary amount for the Harry Potter films because she's an incredible actress.
Yeah.
But it's that thing of like, imagine being that age and being sexualized by a newspaper, a national, worldwide newspaper. That's fucking sickening.
It's fucking
like, a lot of these people who work at the Sun probably have children. You okay with that, are you? You're okay working for a company. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, shockingly, and this is just sadly another in a million and one things that are wrong with this fucking pile of steaming shit. And you know who's at the head of it? Rupert Murdoch, who probably sacrifices people at his altar and drinks virgin blood, the fucking fruitcake. By the way, if I disappear, you know why. Fuck that guy. Fuck modern me thinks this is okay. Right?
There was two things that I wanted to say about Nadia, but I didn't want to interrupt you. Just meeting her that one time, her energy is so fucking infectious.
It's palpable, mate.
It's
palpable charisma.
It still boggles me because it's like you see other people in the ring, and it's like, okay, they can do the cool moves that make you question. I question how much energy she has because I'm like, how are you this fucking energetic 24/7? It boggles my mind. I'm like, how?
She's a beautiful, healthy human being who is easily an inspiration to all of us who get a chance to work with her. I'm very blessed. I get to, you know, donate my time to Wrestling Society and help out with videography and stuff off my own back and things. And you know, like it's fucking awesome. It's wonderful. So I'm going to take this moment to basically hype Wrestling Society, and hopefully anyone who's watching this looking for, you know, rage and clickbait and stuff like that. Yeah, bad luck for you guys. So ultimately, go and check out Wrestling Society on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Come to the shows at Portishead, at Swindon, at Cardiff. There's going to be a show June the 25th in Cardiff. It's going to be an absolute banger. It's going to be at the Walkabout. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's family friendly. Come and see some of the very best fucking professional wrestlers in the world because they all work here. Rishi Ghosh, Sami Zayn, Chris Bronson, Charlie Sterling, The Saint, Gilligan Gordon, Kean Kelly, Nadia Sapphire, Lana Austin, Sky Smits, and Chantel Jordan. It's a fucking veritable who's who of professional wrestling. The best in the world. The fact that I get to be their commentator is mind-blowing. So you know what? Never mind. Don't give these people even more time. I know you're going to say, well, that's a bit hypocritical because you have. It's like, yeah, but we've led into something positive, which is support Nadia Sapphire and also follow Nadia Sapphire. And yeah, absolutely fucking stand for the queen because she's bombastically beautiful and she's worked fucking hard to look the way she does. You know what? Like, being any woman will attest to this. I don't need to speak on their behalf. It takes a lot of fucking effort and a lot of work to look incredible, as all women do. And they put so much time and effort into themselves, and they do it. It's not so they can be objectified, so that they can be fucking celebrated for how incredible they are as human beings and how hard they work. Not so that they can be fucking lambasted across a paper, lambasted across online social media, and essentially fed to the wolves, which are all these redneck, neckbeard, sad sack virgins who make comments underneath, oh, look at the state, you know, fat shaming, things like that. Please, like, any of you have seen a vagina in your lives, you pathetic scum.
I never fat shame people because the thing is, there's no point in fat shaming just silly to me. The one question I ask, and I think the one wrestler who got so much fat shaming and body shaming, and we can talk about it too because Impact just happened, Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
And that fucking broke my heart because the thing is,
now look at her. What a specimen.
Amazing. And the thing is like people who body shame or body shame people, I only have one question to them. It's like, are you happy with your body? If you say no, do something about it. Don't body shame somebody else. It's like when not. It's like if, like, Aeron, are you happy with your body?
No, but I don't go online slagging other people off about my body.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's like, you know.
To quote Nathan Black, look at the goddamn size.
6'3" and looking like a tree.
6'3" and looking like a big old Egyptian hog.
Look at that fucking hog.
I think I'm a relatively good looking guy, but I don't like my body. I struggle with that a lot. Body dysmorphia is a genuine thing.
Oh, You know I suffer with that too, buddy.
Yeah, I know, and you're a snack. So
Ah,
I'd fuck you.
ah,
Tell your
thank you.
missus to get out of the goddamn way. It's mine now.
You can just
Look at the goddamn
caress.
size.
Speaking of Nadia, there's another show, 30th of April, Coliseum.
Fuck that. No, I'm kidding. What the hell, man? Yeah. April 30th at Coliseum, Stanley Arts Centre, Norwood Junction in London town. London is going to indeed be calling. And oh boy, I mean, headlined by the 87 versus Sami Zayn and KM Lane. I am going to be at full mast during commentary. So my apologies in advance if the announce table is about another foot in the air. But that's just the way it is when these guys are on tap. A number of incredible matches, and our very own wonderful Nadia Sapphire will be in a triple threat match with Livy, Grace, and Karama as well. Oh, suits you, sir. Women's wrestling is fucking amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking good shit, pal.
What time on the 30th would you like me there, sir?
I don't mind. You can turn up whenever you like. I'll be there from the crack of dawn. As soon as the doors are available for us, I'll be there doing my thing, being a fucking goddamn professional.
Because it says 4 till 7, so I'm assuming doors will open at 3:30ish, probably.
Doors will be 3:30, but obviously I imagine the majority of the ensemble will be there from midday onwards. Some people, not up to me to decide when wrestlers turn up.
Yeah.
But I'll be on comms. I will be the voice, as always. I will be live on comms in the house alongside my wonderful partner, Jake Pugh, who, of course, made his debut at Coliseum last time around. This is my third time out. Coliseum's third show. The wonderful Tony Wright, of course, was my partner in the first one, and unfortunately Tony hasn't been able to make these shows due to travel commitments, which is why Jake Pugh stepped in. Silent Mark, of course, was the host of the first show. He's sadly not available either because of travel restrictions, but Jessie will again be in the house as the MC and host for the show. She's a wonderful soul herself. It's an amazing assortment of people who work here. Spinebuster Media will be providing media and comms for this, and also doing the video work, which is great. Our good brother Andy, looking forward to seeing him, the tasty little snack that he is. And obviously I will be remonstrating madly about the incredible amount of bunda that will be on display in the ring.
Bunda.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of Mortal Kombat and Wu-Tang references while I'm on commentary.
Mortal Kombat.
There'll be none of that fucking, what do we think of this guy? Shit. Like, go to the fucking camps, you fucking gimps.
Look at this Raiden-looking motherfucker gonna shock you.
Yeah, I'll be debuting my new outfit as well, so look out for that. So, and also the wonderful Matt Raven is going to be doing photography.
Are you going to be looking like a tasty little treacle?
Wow, like a big sticky toffee pudding with a pyramid on top. Can't wait. Might just wear a fez just to fucking upset people even more. You like that shit, pal? By the way, fez is overwhelmingly more Turkish than they are Egyptians, so shut your hormones.
I think the one thing you should get, if you can, is like one of the pharaoh things and just wear that out.
I might just fucking turn up in full Egyptian garb. Fuck it. Full robes, the whole lot, mate.
What if you just turn up just in toilet paper?
Because my name's not Adam Mansfield. Kayfabe alert! God damn it. And I'll tell you what, you fucking co-opting shitbag. If Rumble has any balls on them, they'll book me versus the mummy. And we'll see who the real king of Egypt is, pal. But yeah, Coliseum, April 30th, it's going to be a banger. By the way, Rumble's got a fantastic show coming up, April 28th at Ditton Community Centre on the Friday of that weekend. That's going to be spectacular. A lot of big names in the house, including the new European champion, the King of Steez, Joe Lando, will be announced as well. It's going to be a fucking naughty weekend.
Is he no longer just Joe Lando?
He's now, well, they call him Jumping Joe Lando, but he's the King of Steez, baby. And if you don't know what Steez is, then frankly, you're never going to know. If you have to ask, then you don't have Steez. But shout out to Joe Lando, who wore, I believe, at Riot Cabaret, the 2006 Arsenal Centenary Edition.
Nice.
With Cesc Fabregas on the back, the Judas. But yeah, I've got that shirt. I've got like 3 of those shirts, actually.
Fuck it up. Fabregas.
So yeah,
I still got my old Arsenal t-shirt somewhere.
Oh mate, I've got all my Arsenal stuff. I've got signed stuff from Arsene Wenger and all sorts of shit.
I've got the old, I think it's 06 maroon kit. Yeah,
that's the one. That's the centenary edition.
Yeah,
absolutely gorgeous.
Used to do primary school football wearing that. I used to love playing like 30 hours a defender.
Yeah, I mean that was the kit that they wore at the last ever season at Highbury, and
Yeah.
just what a way to finish that 4-2 win over Wigan. Thierry Henry scoring a hat trick, denying Spurs the opportunity in a top 4 place. We all love it when Tottenham fans have a cry because lasagna was in full effect that weekend. I'll tell you. Oh, now speaking of fucking people who could have food poisoning if they make such dodgy decisions, Tony Khan.
Oh God.
Not saying he deserves food poisoning, by the way. I'm just saying that if he continues to eat shit, he might have something wrong with his stomach. Stop doing it, Tony. So the name of AEW's potential new Saturday TV show has possibly been revealed. Allegedly, It's going to be called AEW Collision, courtesy of Fightful Select. What do we think about that name?
It's okay, but when all of the New Japan shows are called Collision in Philadelphia, Collision in Washington,
Collision in my pants,
and Capital Collision, it's like there's
Capital Carnage.
It's like there's a lot of collisions here, mate. And do you want people to just fucking crash into one another?
I mean, I can't comment on that without getting in trouble ultimately, but
I mean, you did you comment on AEW Dynamite? Because
hey, less of that. AEW controlled explosion.
Well, the explosion was too fucking controlled when it was John Moxley v Kenny Omega.
Oh my lord! Do you remember the Sparklers of Doom?
Because that was the one thing that I think like Renee Paquette and everybody says, like the match before that was actually pretty decent. Then you get that and it's fucking abysmal.
Get out of there, Eddie! He's gonna blow. It's like someone farted a sparkler out. It's like Steve-O from Jackass just farted a firework at
I still love that Steve-O bit where he's like, "We're gonna shoot a firework from my ass."
I remember covering it. I remember reviewing it. You can go back and watch it on our YouTube channel. I remember thinking, like, this is it. This emotional moment. Eddie Kingston's gonna take a bullet, and then
because you see some of the FMW explosions. You know, like somebody's fucking dead because they're so loud.
Who's the Japanese guy who made that shit famous?
Onita. Yeah, it was Onita.
Yeah, imagine him watching that, like.
Yeah, right. It was Onita and Terry Funk.
Where's my fucking bin? Get in it. All of you. Get in there. Disgraceful. At that point, Kenny Omega lost any credibility he had left with me. State of that piece of shit, honestly. Speaking of AEW, by the way, obviously they're building up to their big old stadium show at Wembley. Yay. Wembley. Before we talk about that, Eric Bischoff had some interesting comments to make about the rumored AEW roster split. So the irony that they apparently might be doing a roster split.
Okay.
I mean, before we get into what Eric Bischoff had to say, what do you think about the idea of a roster split in AEW?
It's very much needed, but how is this roster split going to work? Is it going to be? Is it going to be
roster split more like?
Is it going to be between Dynamite and Rampage, or is ROH going to be involved as well?
Can you imagine it though? Like. With the number 1 pick of the AEW draft, Dynamite selects Dark's Joey Janela. That's the first roster split. How about you shave the roster down and have actually talented wrestlers instead of a bunch of indie marks jumping around and breaking their goddamn ankles every 5 minutes?
It's one thing AEW needs to do is just start shaving down shit. Not quite that. They're not at that level yet, but they need to shave down the roster. They need to shave it down.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about Eric Bischoff when he was asked about this on a podcast? He said, "Good luck. You deserve whatever you get. Turner, you're a freaking mess. You're not the company you used to be," Bischoff said during the latest episode of the Strictly Business podcast. There's executives in that company that couldn't find their ass with both hands and a compass when it comes to making a good decision if this is the direction that they're going. Good freaking luck. WWE Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff will go on to say, "There are some dumbasses in Turner Broadcasting right now. If reports of the show being created just to help keep people on the AEW roster away from each other, but get them all on television during the same week are true." He said, "If this is ultimately how things play out, AEW is a joke, and so is Turner." The former WCW president, who had a close relationship with the founder of TNT, Ted Turner, said he feels bad for him in this situation. Bischoff said if he were Turner, he would try to get his name removed from the company or anything associated with his company any longer, calling it a mess for believing for a second AEW's show on a Saturday would be a good idea. Eric Bischoff, not exactly pulling punches there. Do you think he has
shouldn't.
validity to what he said?
Yeah, because that's the one thing that I feel on AEW Unrestricted and all the podcasts and like, it's like, can people start criticizing the company? It's the one thing I love with the Samoa Joe episode of Unrestricted, because Samoa Joe wasn't holding any punches. Like he had a critique about Forbidden Door. He was like, it's not really a Forbidden Door because we've done shows like this in the past. It's like the real Forbidden Door is WWE, and the thing is, Triple H done the Forbidden Door this year by letting Nakamura go and work with Muta and having Carl Anderson at the Tokyo Dome for New Japan. So it's like we've had so many like indie collab events before that AEW's not really Forbidden Door per se.
I've got a Forbidden Door for you with this article, pal. So who remembers WrestleMania 24 where Kim Kardashian made an appearance?
I don't remember that.
So, 2008 was an era of many celebrity guest appearances for WWE, and it's easy to lose track of many of them in a shuffle of revolving guest hosts of WWE Raw. One celebrity that has skyrocketed in fame since the time of her WWE appearance is Kim Kardashian.
Oh, she shocked off Ray J.
Well, that too, yeah. Although I have to say, I was quite aroused by that. Kardashian appeared as a guest host for some segments of WrestleMania 24, and on a recent episode of Something to Wrestle, Bruce Pritchard recalled his time working with her for the show. Kim was a dream to work with. As far as when you look at the outside celebrities that have come in, some are so concerned about their image and what they will and won't do. Kim was like, I'm in your world. You tell me what you want me to do. Dangerous. She was a pleasure. Dangerous. Anytime you can have a celebrity show up on time with a great attitude and not argue with you about every word, that's a good day. However, there was one person backstage who was blissfully unaware of Kardashian and certain elements of her fame at the time, Vince McMahon.
Yes! I don't know it's Vince.
Richard revealed that they filmed a backstage segment centered around Kardashian's butt, something McMahon didn't understand. I knew as soon as I showed it to him, he was like, God damn, you're starting it on her ass, Bruce. We don't do that shit. Apparently he said to Vince, I know, but that's her gimmick, Pritchard said. Ultimately, he said he got McMahon on board with the idea after showing him that this was something Kardashian's audience would understand. What do we think about Vince McMahon not being aware that Kim Kardashian's ass was worth a lot of money?
Vince isn't aware of a lot of shit, so I don't put it past him for not knowing that.
It's the idea that he had a problem with her ass being on TV. Like, really? The man who dropped the N-bomb on Raw wants to complain about Kim Kardashian's ass.
What's good? Yeah, and especially Booker T being there. Just like, tell me he didn't just say that.
Yeah, keep it up, Mutt. Yeah.
Like, who gave Vince the N-word pass?
But it certainly wasn't Booker T, judging from his face.
It wasn't Booker. Maybe Teddy Long.
Unfucking believable. Although I do love these stories about Vince not having a fucking clue about pop.
Because my brother reminded me that instead of calling it burrito, he calls it a fucking meat wrap.
So at one point during Raw, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, there was a running gag that seemed to be referenced quite a lot about South Park and Kevin Owens and Cartman.
Yeah.
And apparently this is because Vince had only just at that point seen South Park and was like, this shit's really good, pal. Let's get it on TV. You're 25 years.
God. Jesus Christ.
You know, we all remember the famous Moxley podcast when he jumped shit to AEW and he did Talk His Jericho and he spoke about how you can't give Vince McMahon a prop. You know, he was talking about, you know, he needed vaccines and stuff like that. That was foreshadowing if I ever saw it. Just the whole thing. Like, Vince McMahon is he's the gift that keeps on giving, but he's a complete and utter gimp, isn't he?
Because he's lost his mind.
Shave your tash, you fucking weirdo.
You want to be a star, don't you?
You want to be a star, don't you? Take it off. Take it off. Speaking of stars, Zack Sabre Jr. has been confirmed for GCW, and of course, his first opponent will be Tony Deppen. You okay with that?
I'm cool with that. I was wondering who Zack was going to face at GCW. I'm like, are they going to thrust him right into Nick Gage? Are they going to potentially do John Moxley? Because him and Mox were meant to have a match 3 years ago, but didn't happen because of COVID.
Affectionately calls Nick Gage the bank-addicted drug robber.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a question. It's like, would they do Sabre Jr. v Alex Zane because of what happened in New Japan? Maybe get Jonathan Gresham over. So there were so many people that maybe even Joey Janela. I'm like, who would they get? So Tony Deppen, I'm actually okay with because I know Tony Deppen can work that style and he's very capable. So it's going to be a good match because I feel GCW's got that good blend to it where it's like for so long they were just marked as the death match company, but you see some of the other cards they produce, it's like no, they've got a good like variety to them as well. Like I think on one show you did have Will Ospreay v Nick Wayne and Blake Christian, Ospreay v Blake Christian as well. So they are like capable of doing all these other matches as well.
Yeah, they're also capable of having matches where people set fireworks off on each other while they're inside cars.
Yeah.
Wrestling. But yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. certainly adds an incredible amount of credibility to what they're doing. Now, getting back to Vince McMahon quickly, comedy has always had a place in professional wrestling, and Breezango, people will remember, provided plenty of that during their run in WWE. However, Fandango recently revealed to Wrestling News Company that Vince McMahon himself didn't find their fashion file segments amusing, despite him being the person in charge of creative at the time. Vince did not laugh once. He did not understand any of the jokes. He didn't get any of the pop culture like any of the movies, Fandango said. He did not understand it. He didn't like it, but he knew the fans liked it, so he kept it on his show. He didn't understand any of that. Vince would just look around and be like, what the fuck? The dry sense of humor just wasn't his thing, which if you're a 70-something-year-old guy, you're probably not getting Twin Peaks jokes. It's understandable. It's nothing against him. He didn't like it at all, but he knew that some people did. Once again, Vince McMahon not really getting things.
The fashion file segments were good, but after a while they did seem to run their course because it did become a bit repetitive. But for a while they were really entertaining and really good.
So, are you a fan of Effie?
Kind of, because he's got the big gay brunch coming up, the UK one, right?
Yes, he has, and apparently Darwin has the big gay banquet, which will have an yeah, it needs to be seen to be believed. Yeah, it's a little spoiler for you there. Leonardo Darwin's big gay banquet, which will have exclusively red hot long wieners.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's always winding somebody up. So Effie's got an issue with WWE staff member Gabe Sapolsky. Talking to Twitter, Effie posted a short statement accompanied by a 2-minute video where he proceeded to tear into Sapolsky with reckless abandon. Recently, some things have been brought to my attention that sound complimentary, but I take a little issue with them, Effie said. Gabe Sapolsky, you've been holding seminars online and discussing things about how Effie is wonderful at branding and selling myself and making money, and of fucking course I am. But I politely ask that you keep my name out of your fucking mouth because you're the problem with the entire industry today. For years it evolved because you did something good with CM Punk at Ring of Honor. You can manipulate and gaslight and carrot dangle and underpay and lie to people about pay and give them t-shirts or let them set up the ring for 2 years and then never really give them other opportunities. And most egregiously of all, making more money on seminars than any of those shows ever actually drew on their own ticket-making foundation. You, sir, are the problem with what's holding indie wrestling down. You, sir, are the creative control that keeps people from having agency over themselves. Gabe Sapolsky deleted his response to Effie's criticism. Effie also claimed that Sapolsky attempted to talk the former GCW tag team champion out of doing certain things in his act, which Effie believes helped lead to him becoming a bigger star. He also referred to Sapolsky as a fraud and a fool, suggested most people had forgotten Sapolsky after he was rehired by WWE, and accused Sapolsky of yelling and screaming and acting like a petulant child in an environment that should be wonderful, nourishing, and uplifting to those that are there. Sapolsky got word of Effie's comments shortly after and himself took to Twitter to respond. It's now been deleted. He said, actually, Effie, this is the gaslighting, lies, and great exaggeration, Sapolsky tweeted. You could have asked me this in person when you waved at me at GCW and I was standing next to you in backstage. Instead of using me for tribalism marketing, now I give my heart and soul to the indies and will always help. Effie has since mockingly acknowledged Sapolsky's deleted tweet and also stated his wave to Sapolsky as one dismissively telling WWE staff member basically that he was waving goodbye to him. As stated in his original tweet, Effie will be running Monday Not Raw on Twitch later. This was, I think this has already happened now. I think this was this week, though he suggested he would delve deeper into his issues with Sapolsky. What do you think about this? I mean, we don't know. I mean, I assume it's not building to a rivalry because Sapolsky works for WWE and Effie does not.
It's like, I know a little bit about Gabe Sapolsky because of ROH and Evolve, but I think like more people do need to come forward, because I think that was one thing with Evolve that was making the rounds. A lot of the guys were underpaid and basically told they were going to be paid not with exposure, which you and I both fucking hate that. Like, we're going to pay you with exposure. It's like, that doesn't pay my bills. That doesn't put food on the table. Like, what does pay me with exposure mean? Nothing.
I mean, anyone who thinks it's okay to pay with exposure, get in the fucking bin. I always say this all the time. I remember Steve Neal rather affectionately said this years ago on this podcast when I first started out in the business. Exposure doesn't pay the bills. Exposure will not buy a pint of milk. You cannot walk into a shop and it was like, take your pint of milk, your Freddo bar, whatever it is you're going to buy, put your groceries down, and they're like, that'll be £17.50. You see. Now, if I get my wallet out here, you'll see that I've actually been on the same show as a number of high-end talents, and I was hoping I could pay for that with exposure. Promoters need to get their fucking heads out of their fucking asses.
Because it was in one of the
pay your fucking talents.
It was one of the seminars that I did years ago, where I think one of the guys said it's like, accept payment in 3 ways. They give you money, they pay for your accommodation, so like pay for a high-end hotel or something like that for you to stay for a bit, or they pay you with like a really bougie dinner, like they just pay you with food. Those are the only 3 types of payment you can
hot dog and a handshake, pal. No, hard cash. Money makes the world run.
Cash.
So pay people properly.
Exactly.
Fucking creeps.
Exactly.
By the way, if somebody's charging you too much, and I've had this a multitude of times, if someone's charging you too much, fine. If you can't afford it, don't be a fucking cunt. Don't go and tell your talents that you're going in a different creative direction. Don't tell them that this person's trying to bleed your money. No, they're not. They're trying to make a fucking living. Some of us make a living from this business.
They're trying to pay what
someone like myself, for instance, who's a sole trader and self-employed now. That's something that's actually very fucking important.
Yeah, because
I'm not asking for heaven and earth. I'm asking to not make a fucking loss every show. And when wrestlers are wrestlers, cameramen, commentators, MCs, when they're taking a hot dog and handshake, when they're working, it sets a bad precedent. I appreciate that money is not all that fucking affluent in professional wrestling, but when you're paying your fucking trainees or whoever it may be peanuts or nothing, have a look at yourselves. It's unprofessional is what it is. Don't be coming at me, calling me unprofessional because I've had opinions online and stuff like that. If you're not willing to pay your talents properly and stuff like that, this happens everywhere in our business, literally everywhere. People are going to be like, oh, he's taking shots at certain people. No, I'm actually not. I'm taking shots at the fucking business. The business needs to be overhauled in that regard. That's why we have all these fucking new things coming in. That's why people at Play Fight, like the wonderful Cara Noir, are trying to make genuine changes to our business.
Me and Cam are going there on Saturday. If you want to
there's no protection. There's no protection from what's going on. No protection.
Me and Cam are going Play Fight for a session, grade 1 on Saturday. If you want to join us next,
can't believe I've only been asked now. Absolutely outright. When you say grade 1, is that what? Like, is it like a beginner session or
kind of? Because it's like for me, it's been like 6 years, and I'm like,
mate, wait till you see me in the ring. Holy shit, it is gas city. Like, I get gas just fucking walking into the building. Like, I'm really fucked. So, but if I'll check with Adam Mansfield see if he's there. So. Yeah, because he helps out at Play Fight. Oh, nice. Great place to train, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Danny Black and Joe Lando and a number of great people coming through that place. And
because I checked when the grade 1 sessions were, because I said to Cam, I was like, I don't want to do the beginner's course because it's like those are on days that I can't do. So I checked when like the grade 1 sessions were, because those were like for beginners / people with a bit of experience. And they were on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I'm like, perfect. The 2 days I don't work and I can fucking go to a session. So
you're gonna need it, pal.
Oh no,
you're gonna fucking need it. You're gonna need all the training, because I'll tell you what, if you're run into me at the King of Essex Royal Rumble, I'm gonna make biryani out of you, boy. You are gonna get smashed. Oh yeah. Snack is right. I'm gonna be tossing you around like a Freddo bar on the 4th of July.
You've almost got a whole foot on me, so you could fucking just stomp me into the ground.
Yeah, not where it counts though, unfortunately.
Step on me, King.
BT hog.
I'd be the step on me, king.
Step on me, king. Oh my god. Yeah, it's not a kink rumble. Settle down, everybody. Well,
What
I
are
don't
you
know.
doing,
Never
Step
needs
Bro?
in there.
What are you doing, Step Nicks?
But we can confirm that the main event of June 24th's IWE Swords of Anarchy will be a 20-man Royal Rumble. And I have it on good authority that Tanvir is going to enter the Royal Rumble and make his professional wrestling debut.
It's gonna be fun. I might die. I told Sasha, she's like, please be careful. I'm like, I'm fine. I'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Honestly, he'll be fine. We'll look after him. I will be the one probably sending for him like a maniac because somebody's got to put him over.
You're gonna choke slam me out the ring. I want you to do that.
Well, careful what you wish for, pal. Azzy Adams still hasn't recovered from that time that I absolutely cold clocked him out of the fucking battle royal for the retaliation for the Isle of Wight title. Oof. Poor bastard. But we're the best of friends now. So what an introduction. And you know what? Fair play to him because I was the biggest man in that match and he met me at the fucking gates of hell and threw a punch. Appreciate that. Mad respect, boy. Mad respect.
Quick question. Any update on if Franco Varga's going to be back in the UK?
Franco Varga will be back in the UK this weekend alongside Jake Hollister, and they're going to be working predominantly up north, I believe, for Bolton Town Wrestling and PCW. So if you're up north, checking out. Yeah, I would
like Franco.
I would love. I'm unfortunately working now this weekend. Otherwise, I would have absolutely loved to spend some time with him. If I can at least get maybe the Friday or the Saturday to see him, that would be really cool. But also, Rumble has a show in Whitstable this Friday, and I'm hoping that I'll be helping out there just as a ring hand and stuff like that. And, you know, lending my talents in other different things, maybe donate my services as a photographer or something like that. Because ultimately, there's no money to be made here. I just do it for the fun of it, you know, just to get outside the house. So. But yeah, no, there's it's going to be good stuff, and with Franco Varga and Jake Hollister coming back over for another tour, very, very, very fucking cool. So you might want to get your hot slice of the biggest wrestler ever because he's going to be in the house this weekend.
Franco's so cool.
He is fucking like, you know, we use the term G a lot. And he really is the personification of G. He is such a gangster. He's so cool. He is the man. He is the measuring stick for how professional wrestlers should behave. And by the way, shatters the illusion that you can't make money in this business, that you can't work full time. He makes a full time living for professional wrestling, and rightfully so. It's a man who was trained by Ron Simmons. Knows his shit.
I had to explain to Sasha the term "good brother" because I say that a lot about like you guys. She's like, why do you call them good brother? And I'm like, they're like guys who will take care of you no matter what. That's
you gotta wrap that Chinsky, brother.
That's how I'm like, they're a good brother. They'll fucking like look after you no matter what. They've got your back.
Yeah, it's gonna be feisty. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, check out Franco Varga's socials, and he's normally at Franco Wrestles across social media. Check it out. Now, speaking of somebody who could maybe tuck their chin a little bit more, Nia Jax has addressed fan perception that she's reckless in the ring. Hey, less of that. So, ever since the famous or the infamous incident, should we say, that saw Nia Jax break Becky Lynch's nose during a brawl on WWE Raw, the former WWE star has received plenty of criticism online. That's putting it mildly. It's something no wrestler wants to be labeled being reckless, but Jax admitted to a Ring the Bell podcast that she initially tried to embrace the comments as she was such an ultimate heel. Jax changed her opinion on the situation, however, when YouTube clips began to surface editing together moments from her matches when things went wrong, which is so shitty because you can do that with any wrestler.
Yeah.
That's so pay. I remember having a conversation with Randy Orton because I had watched one of his matches with Brock Lesnar when they first started out. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys were so all over the place, Jake said. He was like, yeah, we were shit. We didn't know what we were doing. Back then, there wasn't a YouTube or a Twitter or an Instagram that reminded you how many things you messed up on. Jax made it clear that the criticism was getting to her as she tried especially hard to make talent look good while being safe, which was particularly the case when feuding against Alexa Bliss due to the size difference between them. Sometimes mistakes happen and I never want to be unsafe, Jax said. I always made it a point to make sure people felt comfortable getting in the ring with me, and so that kind of hurt my feelings, but I knew backstage people had my back. There are plenty more quotes that you can check out from her podcast with Ring the Bell, and we highly recommend you do so. Credit to Ring the Bell for all the content in that article. Do you think Nia Jax deserves a lot of the treatment she gets online for being an unsafe worker?
No, because at the end of the day, shit happens. Shit happens. It's
This
wrestling.
ain't no ballet.
It ain't ballet. It's
Broke
shit
my ankle in 4
happens.
places in my debut. It's no one's fault but my own. Took a coast to coast with a steel chair, tucked my leg in when I should have left it out, and the chair compressed my ankle and fractured it in 4 places.
It's like
No one's
Michael.
fault but my own. Well, not
To,
Drake's fault. It was mine.
to bring up too, because I think he talked about it on Talk Is Jericho. Michael Oku's wrist injuries, just like landing all. It's like shit happens.
He's doing well now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's doing all right, isn't he? He ain't got time to come on the Wrestle Plug anymore. He's too busy going on Talk Is Jericho, you big hot dog, Michael. He's a lovely kid, by the way.
He is a nice guy.
He's the salt of the earth. He's the reason why we love what we do. You know,
Yeah.
He's fucking great, awesome
Yeah.
human being. Always
so,
takes time for fans.
Exactly.
Always.
That was something I was gonna talk about with Nadia as well, about how she has so much time for people.
Oh, mate, the most giving person on earth.
Yeah.
I cannot express how much I love her. And people go, of course you do. She's hot. Like, shut up.
No.
Like, she's fucking incredible. I love her so much. She is literally like, I affectionately call her my friend's soulmate. Like, you know, like she's my friend's soulmate. Like, you know, I can't be without Nadia Sapphire. Absolutely not. There's a lot of people in this business. They come and go. They do. And it's sad because there's a lot of people I thought were friends who aren't now, or, you know, whatever. And that's probably well documented. And actually, like, I don't hate anybody. I wish them the best of success, whether they like me or not. But with Nadia, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, no, that's genuinely somebody that I cherish and somebody that I cannot be without.
Nadia is one of those people in wrestling that, like, when wrestlers talk about, it's like you don't see them for like 6-7 years, but then when you reconnect, it's like no time's passed at all. Nadia is like one of those people where it's like, I might see her on the 30th, and it would have been like a good year and a half since I saw her last. But she has so much time for people. Like, she didn't need to talk to me. I was just your mate who was just there, just having a drink, and she was like, "Hey, so much time, such a lovely soul, such a lovely person."
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone watching, if you want a little cheeky discount for Coliseum, use the code AaronNix50. Or Aaron50, should I say, when you go on the discount code thing, type in Aaron50, all capitals, no spaces, and that'll get you Aaron15, excuse me, and it will get you 15% off the ticket price.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit of something. You know, we want the place to be packed. We want it to be noisy. We want it to be raucous. Because Gate 7's going to be in the house. Sami Zayn's going to be in the house. Kevin Lane's going to be in the house. Karama, Nadia Sapphire. Oh, suit you.
Did I see Jordan Said?
Who? All right.
Yeah. Nah, you can't do that to Jordan.
I fucking love Jordan. Do you know what? Me and Jordan
Said do that to Jordan.
We are like the best of friends. He's been on this podcast, never actually been in the same room together.
Really?
This is our first time, and there has been promises of very big hugs. And I'll tell you what, if Boss Man don't get his Morley fried chicken, I'm gonna kick off, fam. Like me.
Oh my god, does he have Morley's? Does he get Morley's?
He fucking loves Morley's. He lives by Boss Man chicken, innit?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that, because I think I've had Morley's before and I didn't really rate it. But maybe I went on like
Morley's. A couple of months ago, I went on a failed date in South London, and I'd never had Morley's before, and I thought, fuck it, we're about to pop the fried chicken cherry, and I've got to say, loved it. Thought it was fucking banging. So I'll be going all in for a Morley's bucket after Coliseum. Nice. I can tell you, I'll be the one at commentary covered in grease and broken dreams, hun. And it's going to be good shit, pal. But yeah, I cannot wait to see. Jordan Side's going to be wrestling. Obviously, you know, he's in that match with Niwa and the other member of 8-7. We'll get the card up for me, bruv. You know, because we may as well.
Yeah, let me get it.
There's because I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, because I'll get in serious trouble, because he is meaty. He will fuck me up.
I'm just going on the website to see.
It's also worth pointing out Levi Muir, you know, made his. Yeah. I'm not sure if it was his debut, but made a big splash at Rumble recently, winning the 21-man over the top Royal Rumble for the Medway Cup.
I just saw the poster that was posted on the 6th of April. That's a nice fucking poster.
Is it the one with the gimp and the white suit on it?
No, it's the other. It's with Nadia, who's at the top, front and center. Nadia top center.
And Mr. Bestington, who wants to fucking chat shit at me on Twitter, by the way, saying that he find out what Tesco I work and get me fired from it. Like, I don't work at Tesco. But apparently you do, because you be wearing T&F suits, fam. The state of that thing. Don't get any spaghetti bolognese on your fancy white suit, will you? You absolute
I love spaghetti. Chantel Jordan, Raven Creed.
Yeah, like a big debut for both of those ladies here.
Does Raven Creed wrestle in a straitjacket?
That's part of the gimmick, yeah. She tends to be slightly unhinged, it has to be said. Which, of course, as everyone knows, Aaron Nix loves himself a deranged woman.
Yeah.
It's all jokes aside, amazing talent. She's been at Progress. She's been around the block. Chantel Jordan has as well. Chantel Jordan has been making waves at Wrestling Society. One of the I affectionately refer to her as Mini Brock Lesnar. I very much am excited about what Chantel Jordan can achieve in our business. I think she's incredible. She's a wonderful human being to boot. Yeah. They all are. They're all wonderful.
Because there's like no page with all the graphics on for the matches. I found the match that we were talking about. So it's Jordan
Twitter's the best place to go for it.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter right now. So it's Jordan Said versus Niwa v Remy Adetunji.
Now that man is stacked. Like you wanna. He makes Shreddy look fucking small, that game. Oh, my lord. The 87, by the way. Oh, Alexander Roth. Man crush alert. I love Alexander Roth.
He's great.
He's so fucking cool. The multiversal.
Oh champion. Yeah, my dad's there. My uncle/dad is there.
That's a bit concerning.
No, Shaw Samuels. Yeah, because we had that joke at RevPro that Shaw was my dad.
Shaw Samuels is the fucking man. What a guy. He is like
Shaw.
The absolute epitome of cool.
Each time I met him at RevPro, I fucking love Shaw so much.
You know what? I love Coliseum. It's definitely got some work to do, as all wrestling promotions do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this is the first place where I was truly headhunted to work, and the honor and the distinction of that is not lost on me. I am extremely proud to be a part of that.
Because it's Coliseum, 4 or 5 shows in now?
This is their third show.
But still early days. It's like the thing.
Well, they went to Crawley for the second show. For me, that didn't work as well as it should have. The first one, of course, was at Conway Hall in central London. This one's back in London again, and do you know what? Working in London, I see as a massive privilege in wrestling, because that is normally exclusively the company of Progress or Red Pro.
Yeah, I had my
break. London is a big freaking deal. This is the capital city of of England, and it's one of the biggest cities in the world.
It was the one thing that had me, because I went immediately like booker promoter brain, because when I went to go see a George Takei's theatre show called Allegiance.
Oh my!
Amazing. George Takei's so good.
Yeah, was he actually there? Was he?
Yeah, he was. Did
you get a photo with him or anything?
No, because there was such a big queue for the meet and greet afterwards.
Not surprised. He is like pop culture icon, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, big deal.
But it was like right near me, because he like walked past me as he came onto the stage. I was like, it's George Takei.
Yeah, I would have been the same. Oh my god, it's George. Like, yeah, he is. Oh my god, he's just so fucking cool.
Yeah, because because when we went to Charing Cross Theatre, we got in there, and I said to my brother, I'm like, this would actually be a nice place to have a wrestling show. He's like, put a ring in the middle there. This is where the seats is. He's like, you're not wrong. He's like, yeah, it'd be a pretty nice setup.
Star of Futurama, George Takei.
Who does he play in Futurama again?
He plays himself, doesn't he, in the Star Trek episode?
Shit, yeah, he does. Yeah. I need to go back and read.
There's that scene. Remember when they bump into Spock in the jar museum, the head jar museum, and he goes into the closet of presidents, and Bill Clinton goes, "Hey there, sweetie, what I can do to you can legally be called." It's like, what the fuck? And it's one of the other president goes, "I have to apologize for his behavior, ma'am. He gets excited around meaty looking women."
I feel like every great animated show, also animator has like its second project, which is less well known but almost better.
For me, Futurama shits all over the Simpsons.
It's like Futurama's better than Simpsons. American Dad, parts of it is so much better than Family Guy. And with unfortunately, I have to mention his name, Justin Roiland. He had a Solar Opposites, which is so much fucking
Who's
better.
he? I don't know him.
It was the guy who created Rick and Morty, who got
I've heard that. He also voices Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
That one's in the fucking toilet, isn't it?
He had a second show called Solar Opposites, which is so fucking
Can you
good.
believe Inside Job has been cancelled after
it's still on my Netflix, so I have to watch it, but it's like you see
have
the
to watch
clips, because the thing on Netflix that's cool now is that like they do have a little clip section. So it's like you do see clips of Inside Job. I'm like, oh, this show's good. I'll get around to it watching it at some point. I'm just like, because I said to Ian as well, like Mr. Ian Deal as well. Because he's like, oh, have you seen this anime? I'm like, I just prefer watching films so much more at the moment, that if you suggested me a series, I'm like, I'll add it to the list, but I don't know when I'll see it.
Animated series is like the only thing that I really sort of delve into.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for any other business because we still have some business in the wrestling world to talk about. WWE breaks record for non-WrestleMania stadium ticket sales with SummerSlam 2023. It'll be taking place in Detroit, and they have sold already 32,000 tickets on the first 24 hours. Detroit, by the way, starved. I don't think it's had any major wrestling shows since WrestleMania 23 or 24.
Jesus.
That's a big fucking deal. And bear in mind, Detroit and obviously Michigan as a whole state, very poor state, struggling with a lot of different things. Most of the automotive industry shut down there. It's had a lot of problems. It looks like I really recommend it if people can get hold of it. Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown. He went to Detroit and he went to and there are literally skyscrapers there that are completely uninhabited. It's mind blowing. It looks like a zombie apocalypse there in places because it's one of the forgotten great states of America. People have just upped and moved and left it. And there are huge buildings, like massive complexes and malls and things that are completely uninhabited that are just delinquents now. Debilitated places. It's pretty mind blowing. So for Detroit to get SummerSlam is a big deal.
Because it's the old school Cleveland tourism video where it's talking about how shit Cleveland is, and then it ends with "at least we're not Detroit." So it's kind of like insulting Detroit. So
the suggestion is that Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus will face each other at SummerSlam to help bolster it.
It may not be our cup of tea, but it'll be a big fucking draw.
It's a big draw. It's arguably the greatest women's wrestler of the last 10 years versus the greatest women's wrestler of all time. It's got a lot on it. So, did you see Rebellion?
I watched highlights, and honestly, I love what Impact's doing. I want to see Josh Alexander back soon, but 100% because you know how much we adore Josh Alexander, and especially
man,
and especially to see him because it was almost like a given that Steve Macklin was gonna win the title here, whether it was Josh Alexander.
They were never going to give it to Kushida, were they? It's a shame. Match was great, to be fair. I watched that. Phenomenal. Steve Macklin, by the way, very, very cool. He captured the vacant Impact World Championship from Kushida via pinfall. On the same night, his wife, Deonna Purrazzo, captured the vacant Impact Knockouts World Championship because Mickie James could not defend by defeating Jordan Grace. The other big highlight here, of course, first of all, the triple threat match for the X Division Championship. Trey Miguel defeating Jonathan Gresham and Mike Bailey. Oh my lord, that is naughty.
Arguably, 3 of the best juniors in the world. That should all be in Best of Super Juniors this year because let's be honest, if you're a New Japan fan like me, Best of Super Juniors,
get out of here.
Get out of here. But also, Best of Super Juniors last year shat all over the G1.
It's not hentai, it's art.
Art, yes. It's not juniors, it's art.
You are a bad influence on me. You've tainted and corrupted me. It's not the other way around. Absolutely not. Also on this card, ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay defeated the Motor City Machine Guns to defend their Impact World Tag Team Championships in Ultimate X, which I imagine was probably ludicrous. The Coven, Kylan King and Taylor Wilde, successfully defended the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships against the Death Dolls, Jessica Havoc and Rosemary as well. Champagne Singh and Shira defeated Heath and Rhino, by the way, by pinfall. What do you think about that? Your homeboys doing some business.
His name is Champagne Singh. That's fucking sick.
I know. The only good wrestler to ever have champagne in front of his name. Brilliant stuff.
I know who you're on about as well.
Because he's in the Rumble, and if you get in my way, I'll shove that champagne bottle where the sun doesn't shine, you gimp.
Oh, is he in the Rumble?
Yeah, he is.
He better not touch me. I know I look like a young boy.
Stay
away from Cameron Anderson.
Don't touch me. Cameron Anderson.
Stay away from Cameron Anderson just because he's young. He's younger than me.
Are we insinuating that he goes after fresh young men?
He looks like
The views expressed by Tanvir Verdi are not shared by the WrestlePlug. Crazy Steve defeated Sheldon Jean, whoever that is, in a singles match.
Sheldon Jean.
Sheldon Jean, the state of your name, mate.
My name is Sheldon Jean.
Dirty Dango, Joe Hendry, and Santino Marella defeated The Design. which is violent by design without Eric Young, because he's obviously dead. PCO defeated Eddie Edwards in a last rights match with the gorgeous Alicia Edwards at ringside. What a wonderful soul she is. And also rounding off this ludicrous card, Team Dreamer, Tommy Dreamer, Bhupinder Gujar, Frankie Kazarian, Killer Kelly, and Yuya Yamura defeated Team Bully. Junior. Bully Ray, Brian Myers, Kenny King, Masha Slamovich, and Moose. 10 wrestler hardcore war. That was 25 minutes of pure shenanigans. I bet that fucking slapped. Also, the big thing coming out of this general show was the fact, there are two things. First of all, Nick Aldis returned to Impact Wrestling at Rebellion, which is fucking awesome. He's been out of action since the beginning of the year when his contract with the NWA came to an end after a, shall we say, tumultuous few months.
It's a big get, and it's kind of one that, because that's the one thing I like about Impact, is that they're not signing everyone. They're very selective, and then when they sign someone, it's like, oh shit, this feels fucking like Frankie Kazarian when they signed him and he was immediately slotted into the X division. It was like, that's fucking cool.
Worth pointing out, obviously, he's married to Mickie James, so that probably swayed his decision. I find it mind-blowing that WWE and AEW didn't boot the door in trying to get this guy in.
Can I just mention that the Mickie James promo on Impact from the previous week where she had to relinquish the title, fucking heartbreaking.
She's fucking amazing. Like, when it's all said and done, she deserves that place in the Hall of Fame. She
so emotional that like you felt like crying because you're like, holy shit! Like it's really heartbreaking.
He's fucking amazing.
Because if you pay attention to Impact like we have and seeing the whole of the Lost Rodeo and all this, and now that it's had to kind of like
the dream matchup though, isn't it? Yeah. You know, husband and wife, Nick Aldis. And Mickie James versus Steve Maclin, Deonna Purrazzo.
Deonna Purrazzo mentioned that they can't be on screen together because Maclin's a heel and she's a babyface, and they kind of like made that decision of like, it doesn't make sense. It's like if something comes up, great, but for now, it doesn't make sense.
Just turn her already so we can get it done.
I liked the respect that her and Jordan showed at the end of the match of like the handshake of like, yeah, we're both babyfaces, but more so this match was for Mickie James.
Nick Aldis, let's not forget as well, Nick Aldis, the first ever British North American heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
If you can argue that, world champion. Pop quiz for you, Tanvir. Yeah. He also won the Impact World Tag Team Championship twice.
Yeah.
Who were his partners on each occasion?
One of them I want to say is Bram.
Wrong.
Okay. And then I'm gonna throw one out there which makes no sense. Drew Galloway.
Wrong again.
Yeah. Which two?
Any other guesses?
One of them, I'm going to throw out there, even though it was an NXT one, and he's been on many shows with you, Joel Redman.
Nope.
I can't think. It's going to be like two names that are going to be like, holy shit, how did I forget about them?
All right, well, once was Samoa Joe.
Holy shit!
And the other was Doug Williams.
What the fuck?
Pay attention, young man. You got more to learn.
The Doug Williams one, I should have got because that... Okay, I don't know how I forgot about Doug Williams. I never would have guessed Samoa Joe. I never would have guessed Samoa Joe.
Well, I've got good news for you, by the way, as far as Impact goes, because breaking news, Impact and New Japan Pro Wrestling present Multiverse United 2, For Whom the Bell Tolls, on Sunday, August the 20th in Philadelphia.
It's amazing, and I think the Impact New Japan link is the most fruitful to come, even more so, because the AEW one is like, it's cool, but it's not proven as fruitful, because it's like, you've had Ace Austin, Best of Super Juniors and Super Junior Tag League last year. The fans fucking love him, and I love him too. Chris Bay getting a good showing out there.
Shout out to Chris Bay, training with Nadia Sapphire in America recently.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Chris Bay just always trains. He's just fucking shredded.
And also a shout out to Carl Wilkinson's legs that will no doubt be reattached for this, because Multiverse United 2 will be part of a slew of events for Impact that will kick off on May 26th with special event Under Siege. Other events included will be Against All Odds on June 9th, Slammiversary, which will air as a pay-per-view on July 15th, and Emergence on August the 27th. Under Siege, Slammiversary, and Emergence will all take place in Canadian cities, London, Windsor, and Toronto, Ontario, Canada, while the Against All Odds will emanate out of Columbus, Ohio.
Because 26th is my birthday, so I was going to message Carl, be like, yo, you going to go to the Impact show on my birthday?
Yeah, that's how we should celebrate your birthday, by going to a wrestling show that you absolutely will not be able to attend.
Yeah.
We are getting to the end of the news. There's a lot of little things that I thought we'd quickly touch on.
Can I do a quick bit of news?
You just interrupt me.
Oh, sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
Fucker.
I'm sorry, sir.
No, you fucking cannot. What have you got on tap? What do you want to talk about?
It's to do with British wrestling as well, but more so women's British wrestling, because Mercedes Moné tweeted out in the early hours of the morning.
I've got it right here. So if you hadn't interrupted, it would have been the next.
I'm sorry, sir.
See what I mean? What a dick. So I've got, seriously, what a dick.
I'll get it out.
Yeah, right? Fucking look at the size of that. Anaconda don't want none. Mercedes Moné has expressed a desire to move to Japan full-time as her NJPW contract winds down. You think that's a good move, or do you think she should come back to the mainstream and work for AEW or WWE again?
I think whatever makes her happy. If she's happy out being in Japan and just working that, and because I know Stardom and like New Japan do come over to the the US more often now. Like they just had 2 to 3 shows in the US in the space of a month, so they are doing more shows. So I think whatever makes her happy, I think her being the IWGP women's champ makes sense, because her next defense is on, I believe, this weekend. This Sunday against Mayu Iwatani at the Stardom show, which will be a fucking certified banger. So I think whatever, because at the end of the day, when we talk about contracts, I think we all agree on the same thing. It's like we may want them to do certain things, but at the end of the day, whatever makes them happy is the best thing.
Yeah, I wish wrestling fans knew that. Ultimately, it's about what they want to do, not what we want them to do.
Because the thing is, you can tell when a wrestler's happy or a wrestler's like comfortable in their position when you see their in-ring work. Because I think like with some of them, you see their in-ring work just sign, and you're like, oh yeah, they're having fun right now. Like they're loving the role that they're in.
Well, also, Mercedes Moné, as you alluded to, put out a tweet asking who is the best women's wrestler in the United Kingdom, teasing the potential of a matchup. And I imagine a lot of people would like to see that at Wembley Stadium. So, who is the number 1 pick for Tanvir to face Mercedes Moné from the United Kingdom's women's roster?
Because if it was just from the UK, as instead of in the UK, I'd go with Jamie Hayter. I'd say Jamie Hayter because she's in AEW, that's technically from the UK. If I was to go in the UK, I'd want to see Mercedes Moné versus Sky Smithson.
Fucking just stole my tweet, innit? He's got an opinion of his own. He clearly saw me tweet this earlier. I this and so I said Sky Smithson is waiting because ultimately, my opinion, she's the best woman. She's the best. She is. Like Nadia Sapphire. There's a lot of beef, by the way, between Nadia Sapphire and Sky Smithson, because Nadia Sapphire, I claimed that Sky Smithson could beat Nadia Sapphire up on a podcast. Nadia Sapphire vehemently disagrees with this. However, Sky Smithson has confirmed with me that she loves Nadia dearly, but she will knock her the fuck out. So there you go. So maybe the winner of that match face Mercedes Moné. I don't know.
Is that going to be the next match at Coliseum?
By the way, Tony Khan, you'll never listen to this, but in the off chance that somebody does forward this to him, and I hope they do, Tony Khan, right? Instead of sitting there masturbating yourself silly over silly American football teams that aren't very good, how about you book Sky Smithson versus Nadia Sapphire at Wembley Stadium in the opener, and the winner faces Mercedes Moné later in the evening for the is she still the IWGP Women's?
She still is, because her next defense is on this Sunday, and if she wins, great.
Slam.
If she it's Stardom's got weird names for their shows. I think this is All-Star Queendom or something like that. I know Stardom has like some very confusing names for certain shows. But
bottom line is book it, Tony Khan. Stop touching yourself silly and book it. Do it now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll fly over there and slap you with my pengus.
We know who Tony Khan's going to fucking book against Mercedes Moné, though. And it's going to be fucking boring. He's going to book Saraya.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the thing is, whether we find it boring or not, it will draw money.
Yeah.
It will make money. That's the bottom line. And also, Saraya has to be in a prominent position on this card. She just does. Same with,
But
by the way, Pac should be in the main
yes,
event.
I was just gonna mention,
but he
Pac.
won't be. Apparently, people are saying, yeah, he's going to face Sean Spears. Am I the only one who thinks
No,
that's an absolute
no.
waste?
I
What?
want to see.
I like
Pac.
Sean Spears a lot, but no, like, come on.
I'd want to see Pac challenge for a title, whether it
Pac
be.
has to go over as a he's not going to win the world title, even though he should, because ultimately, in my opinion, he's the best wrestler in the world. Yeah. But it's that thing of, and also at this point, the most underrated wrestler in the world, because he just never gets fucking utilized properly. Again, roster split. Never mind that. How about giving more TV time to Pac instead of crying? By the way, Dave Meltzer, shut up, you tart. I see him on podcasts crying and whining. CM Punk's toxic. CM Punk this. CM Punk, mate. Honestly, you are obsessed. It's not healthy.
CM Punk fucked off. He said he was too tired and he was tired of working with kids. Fuck off. Eddie Kingston said it best. It's like, nobody wants you here. Like, Eddie Kingston fucking chewed him up and spat him out in that promo last year.
Bottom line is, whether you like CM Punk or not, Dave Meltzer, please shut up. Like, just be quiet, mate. It's so boring at this point. Do what you do best, which is reporting on the news. Stop making up stupid little fucking bullshit and egging on people and rumors and talking about, he's talking about how, CM Punk needs to show more respect in the locker room, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are toxic as fuck. And the sooner we realize that, the better. But we're not going to, because all the woke fans love them because they go on Twitch and they play video games. Oh boy, shut up, you bunch of nerds. Go and masturbate to hentai. Sorry, it's not hentai, it's art, apparently. Big E has provided an update on his neck injuries. It's just a complicated fracture, he said. I broke my C1 in 2 places. A Jefferson fracture is what it's called. Thomas Jefferson sucker. It just takes a little more time to heal. The WWE star stated that he just completed a new set of scans with his doctors and is now waiting to sit down with them and figure out what comes next in terms of his recovery. But he did say that from his perspective, he feels great. He has no function issues. He has no pain issues. And he's been in the gym since 2 weeks after breaking his neck. He says he feels great, but unfortunately, the body needs to be in a certain condition to deal with the rigors of being in the ring on a nightly basis, and he's obviously not there yet. However, he's been keeping himself busy. He's part of the WWE program Next in Line, which recruits college athletes, and of course there's been a slew of incredible athletes that they've picked up lately, including a pair of twin sisters, I believe, who play college or collegiate basketball. So yeah, some stars for the future now. So yeah, Big E. Get what's in, bro.
I love Big E.
Come back when you're ready, and if you're not ready, that's cool. We'll all go over it.
On the New Day podcast, he had some of the best moments of, like, the most prominent being big meaty men slapping meat. But it was also, I think, my favorite when they were doing like TV show of like tier list of like all brackets of like which TV show is the best. And Xavier Woods just mentioned that Goldberg was in an episode of CSI. And Biggie's just like, oh, it's CSI's going through. It's got an episode with Goldberg. He just puts his hand on Kofi's chest. He's like, Goldberg? Is that did he say Goldberg? Or like, Biggie's love for Goldberg is one of the best things ever. Because even you see in like, I think in the backstage clip of Biggie saying to Goldberg of like, you're one of my heroes. I've still got the 8x10 you gave me, and it's the one match that I think Big E like deserves to come back, because as much as people don't like Goldberg, it'd be similar to like Eddie Kingston recently wrestling Jun Akiyama. It'd be like a dream come true for Big E to be able to wrestle Goldberg.
Right. Just quickly, let's try and power through these fast. So Drew McIntyre has gone dark on Twitter, removing WWE references from his profile. Do we think that Drew McIntyre's had enough of creative and had enough of working for the company, as many fans are trying to suggest?
I can't really comment because
should he be disparaged with how he's been booked over the last couple of years?
I don't think so.
What do we think about the theory that putting both belts on Roman Reigns, therefore not allowing a world champion to be a part of both shows, has essentially cut him off at the hamstrings?
It's cut a few people off from the hamstrings, not just Drew. Because I think like Clash at the, because there's been like a few moments through Roman's reign now where
you feel at the castle,
where it's like you feel that like Drew at Clash at the Castle, coming out to Broken Dreams, the entrance, the hype. You're like, Drew's gonna be the one to beat him. Then you had Sami.
So say goodbye.
The fact that you guys got to sing along with that and see it live.
Now it's mine. Yeah, good shit.
bro.
Oh, we love a
Yeah,
bit of depressed Drew.
it was just that, and then it's like Sami Zayn elimination chamber. You're like, Sammy's gonna be able to do it. Now recently Cody Rhodes, it's kind of like, okay,
Cody
you've had
Rhodes will get it eventually. He will get it, I think. By the
yeah.
way, news reports suggesting that the heavy favorite to win Money in the Bank right now is LA Knight. What do you think
Oh
about that?
fuck yes. Fuck yes. Do it. Do it.
Apparently, he is like, the bookies are, he is the odds on favorite.
Dummy. Yeah.
Eli Blake. Yeah.
I've got
Very
I've
light.
got I've got all the love for LA Knight, the pop that he gets each week. But he the fact that he was off WrestleMania is a fucking crime.
Well, that's what happens when you wrestle in a Mountain Dew match.
Yeah, I still love love the edit that I think Promo Joe made where he changed it to the Mountain Dew Pitch Blackman match, and it's just LA Knight doing the Steve Blackman just with the sticks.
Yes.
The drums in
This
the night.
guy gets it.
Just drums in the night. I'm like, that's fun. I'm like,
This
that's
guy on
such
the
a
pod.
good. I'm like, that's such a good fucking edit.
More Steve Blackman references on this pod. Yeah, the lethal weapon. The bounty hunter.
I fucking love Steve Blackman so much.
Eric Bischoff apparently once vowed in catering that he would not be happy and he would not rest until he had driven a stake through the heart of Vince McMahon.
I do not put that past Eric Bischoff.
Apparently, Tony Schiavone reported this recently on a podcast. He said that he doesn't know if Eric Bischoff remembers this, but this was during the infamous moment where they were ripping on Mick Foley winning the title, and that famously changed the landscape of Monday Night Raw and the war. But yeah, Eric Bischoff said he'd drive a stake through the heart of Vince McMahon. I believe it. Absolutely, I believe it. I know Ted Turner certainly wanted to. I want to kick Vince's butt. By the way, finally, backstage paranoia apparently at WWE Raw this week. A new report suggests several backstage segments involving female talents were cut from this week's episode of WWE Raw, which, by the way, did reasonably well in the ratings, leaving some talent who recently returned to the company nervous about seeing more potential changes now that WWE Chairman Vince McMahon has been increasingly present backstage. A new report from PW Insider's Mike Johnson, who is a very credible source, said that there has been a slightly bubbling paranoia in recent weeks, especially among the WWE talent who returned once Triple H took over creative control last year. Bayley was reportedly pulled from a segment on Raw this week, while fans in attendance at Raw after WrestleMania show reported that Seth Rollins was flustered and walked out of the show after his segment was interrupted by an apparently unexpected commercial break. Cannot confirm whether that is kayfabe or not. It is also worth pointing out, WWE Draft, of course, begins on April the 28th on SmackDown and will obviously conclude with the May the 1st episode of Raw the following Monday. And people are saying that this will herald the official beginning of Triple H under creative control of WWE, with everybody on tap. Do you think the draft is a good thing to do right now? Certainly stirs up a lot of attention, doesn't it?
It'd be cool, but I think the last time the draft was effective was back in 2016. That was like the last time
it
the
never,
draft...
ever. Like most things in WWE, you never top the first. And I remember the first draft with The Undertaker being taken number one by Ric Flair. I remember that. Like, I must admit, one of the coolest moments was when John Cena switched to Raw during the highlight reel for Chris Jericho. That was a big fucking moment, big deal. There has been some great moments. I particularly enjoyed when NXT talents were brought in and stuff like that. I'd like to see a more prominent position for a lot of the... You got to think Braun Breaker's going to get...
I was going to say, do you think it's going to be Braun
Well, he's dropped the belt, as did Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, looks like it'd be interesting. NXT, by the way, bubbling along, not doing as well as I would like. But one thing I will say is, my God, Isla Dawn.
I'm going to say one person who I think, because I just read the report, I think Tyler Bates going to be involved in the draft.
Do you know what? I would put him with the Brawling Brutes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I worry that he hasn't got enough charisma to be by himself. Wrestling-wise, phenomenal. Don't think he's got the personality. Don't like the Zen gimmick either. Make him more unhinged. Put him with Pete Dunne as a tag team, and instantly you've got yourself a really high-end, credible British tag team that can work SmackDown or Raw. That's good shit, pal. Especially if because there is apparently going to be a lot of breakups and things like that, tag teams being broken up. So why not build one and make, the Brawling Brutes an even more hefty faction? Maybe get some new people aligned with Gunther or something, maybe have the other two members of Imperium shoot over to Raw. You know, there's loads of things you could do. Be interesting to see. I wouldn't be surprised if New Day are drafted back to the main roster because they've been on NXT for a little while now.
Okay.
Although Xavier Woods, I believe, is facing Gunter on SmackDown.
Yeah, because with Kofi being out with the ankle injury and now Big E still with the neck, Woods is on his own.
R.I.P. Xavier Woods is all I have to say about that.
I think it will be a good match because
yeah, it'll also be a good burial because Gunter will destroy him because he is a small little boy in comparison. Yeah, but
he's not as like tall as Gunther, but
Austrian beast.
Big,
all I have to say on the matter.
As we used to call him on the British Indies when we say big scary Austrian man.
There's a lot of beef.
Big scary Austrian man.
You know what your problem is, Finn? You just don't have the beef. By the way, Rhea Ripley staring down Solo Sikoa on Raw this week made me violently erect.
That was one of my favorite moments because I recently watched the SmackDown from April 7th of when Triple H is introducing the Judgment Day, and it's like puts his hand on Rhea's shoulder, gives Dominic and Damian Priest a handshake, and then just looks at Finn and gives Finn a too sweet. I'm like, yeah, it's like Finn's the real one. It's like Finn's his
still
boy.
The dad, isn't he? He's still everyone's dad. Those are his children, you know. The Judgment Day pretty much exclusively developed by Triple H.
I think
they're a big deal now. I think they're getting there.
I don't want them split up in the draft because I do adore them. I think Rhea Ripley might currently have my favorite theme in WWE.
Do you know what the biggest
really
fantasy booking thing is? I want NXT the draft Edge.
I think that would be cool. I think
he doesn't need to be on the main roster. As much as I'd love to see one more title reign, I think it would be fucking cool if he went down there and just had match of the year candidates with all of their best talents.
If not Edge, do you know who I'd like to see in NXT then instead of Edge?
Akira Tozawa.
AJ Styles.
Oh, fuck that guy.
No,
who's that? Some scrub. No. AJ Styles hasn't been around for a while, has he? He's been very quiet.
Yeah, because I think
the draft is a great opportunity to bring back people who may be ready to go that haven't been on TV for a little while. You know, Riddle's obviously back and making a good account of himself.
I think they should just stick with draft because it made no sense when you had the draft and then 4 to 5 months later you had superstar shakeup. It's like, we don't fucking need this.
Get in the fucking bin.
It's like have a draft like maybe once every 2 years so that it feels fresh. And when the draft comes around, you're like, ooh, what's happening now? Who's the new storylines?
Yeah. Any other business? Anything you want to talk about quickly before we wrap it up?
I've been binge watching through the Mad Max films.
I've only seen Fury Road. How many are there? You mean the Mel Gibson ones?
Yeah, because they're
okay. I've only seen Fury Road, which for me is an absolute certifiable.
I've got about 20 minutes left of 15 minutes left of Fury Road. Fucking love it. It is good. It's probably the best one because the thing is, Mad Max 1 is a good origin story. Road Warrior is interesting, and then Beyond Thunderdome. It's a fucking classic. It's fucking great. Beyond Thunderdome. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, and it's Tina Turner. Looking very, very voluptuous and hot.
She had I always remember my stepdad John. He's 84 now.
Yeah.
And he always would go on about Tina Turner's legs when I was a kid, and now I can see what he means. Like, yeah, she is. She was a spicy mama.
Yeah,
is she still alive, Tina Turner?
I think so. I'm gonna double check.
It's really sad that we have to ask that in this day and age because we worry about it. But yeah, she is
still alive. She's a year younger than your stepdad. She's 83.
Yeah, she is wow. Like, I'll tell you what, talk about somebody who changed the culture of what it meant to be a black singer. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Do you know who else was who like changed that for me? And it was after seeing Blues Brothers, Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, Blues Brothers, by the way, greatest film of all time.
I love Blues Brothers.
My top 5. Yeah. I just
incredible.
Yeah.
We're on a mission.
By the way, Tina Turner, probably the most underrated Bond song of all time.
What was her Bond song again?
GoldenEye found his secret.
Golden.
Golden.
I love Tom Jones Thunderball.
That's fucking sick. Skyfall's actually really good.
Skyfall's good.
Yeah.
I like Sam
by the way,
writing on the wall.
Duran, mate, A View to a Kill.
Yeah. Goldfinger's Goldfinger. Goldfinger might be my
Goldfinger's
favorite.
like Shirley Bassey, isn't it? That is.
Yeah, Shirley Bassey.
That's just next level classic. You know,
Yeah.
not necessarily the greatest song of all time, but iconic for different reasons.
Yeah.
Actually, when you think about it, somebody's like From Russia with Love, by the way, by Matt Monro was fucking fantastic.
What was the song for Man with the Golden Gun?
No clue.
Yeah, because that's Christopher Lee's one when he's Scaramanga.
He's so good at Scaramanga.
I love Christopher Lee. The fact that I think Ian, I forget the name of the author now. Shit, of Bond. Yeah, that Christopher Lee was the direct inspiration for Bond.
Lulu sang Man with the Golden Gun.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It's pretty sick. What I love about it is how they always have truly one of the great pop culture icons. Excuse me. But by the way, Tomorrow Never Dies by Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, I watched it.
Great.
Live and Let Dies. Live and Let Die.
I have to say, the worst one for me is probably Madonna's one, Die Another Day.
Okay, I watched No Time to Die recently and I enjoyed it, but
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any Daniel Craig films other than Spectre. Need to get on that because I love James Bond. I need to sit down and work. Spectre, I love.
Skyfall, Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem is so fucking good as the villain. Like one of the best Bond villains, Javier Bardem. Casino Royale's great because of Mads Mikkelsen.
He's fucking sick.
Yeah, Quantum of Solace is okay. I don't remember Quantum of Solace.
By the way, Quantum of Solace, one of the worst Bond games of all time.
Yeah.
I still completed it, but my God, what a clusterfuck of shite.
Yeah.
Like, just terrible game.
Yeah, and then I watched, and No Time to Die is good. It felt really long in parts, but it's just Christoph Waltz as Blofeld might be top tier casting. Because Christoph Waltz is just such a great actor.
I found an interesting article here. Lulu would probably rather you didn't remind her of The Accolade, admitting she thinks her effort is the worst song in the franchise's history.
Oh, really? I think it's a good one. Yeah. Billie Eilish's one is okay. I really liked Sam Smith for Spectre writing on the wall.
You'll love this. You'll love this. In the same article, when Lulu was then reminded of Madonna's 2002 track, Die Another Day, the Shout singer then piped up, "Oh yes, hers was pretty bad." Lulu burying Madonna is what I'm here for.
That's amazing. I forgot the song for Moonraker because Moonraker was pretty good.
Probably Madonna and I had the worst, and that's the only time Madonna and I could be grouped together on anything.
Moonraker was Shirley Bassey as well.
Sam Smith's Writing on the Wall is pretty good as well.
I really liked Writing on the Wall. It's part of my gym.
Although Sam Smith needs to calm the fuck down.
Yeah. Fisher them. Fisher them.
I mean, I personally don't give a shit how he dresses.
I don't
but be age appropriate for your audience. That's the only thing I'll maybe say. But I find him quite funny. At this point, he's like a weird ass gold dust wrestling heel. It's quite funny. Get him on Raw, dressed like that. I want to see the reaction. Like him versus Logan Paul, mate. That's got money written all over it. Logan
Smith
Paul versus Sam
Rollins.
Smith in fishnets. That's what I want.
What about Seth Rollins?
He just bores me now. He's becoming too generic.
I still like.
I like him. He's a great worker. I like the character, but I do feel like he's becoming a bit one-dimensional with it.
Who's that big guy in NXT who would wear fishnets?
The Ultimate Diva guy, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what really annoys me about him? Like, so I don't mind the character. I think it's very cool that he's open about his sexuality and stuff like that. Just don't think he's that good a worker. Just don't think he's very good. His matches are okay at best, you know. But there's so many guys there that I'd rather see. I'll tell you what I hate in NXT, that bird who wears pajamas and goes to sleep.
Oh, Wendy Chu. Who was the fucking Mystic lady for?
I want to see Rhea Ripley rip her arms off.
Yeah, because it was because before she was Wendy Chu, she was the Mystic lady for Xia Li, right?
Oh, is that who she was?
She was the lady who'd sit in the chair and look fucking menacing as hell.
Yeah, they had something going there, but unfortunately, these culture things just don't seem to work in WWE because most of their fans are inbred rednecks. Chinese people, get off my TV. Mm-hmm.
I'm a fucking shotgun this beer.
Yeah, fucking. I'm gonna shoot squirrels in their nuts with my 357 Magnum. Hoorah! Okay. Anything else? So are we done?
I think we're done because it's
We are
not
done.
too
We are
much
done.
else.
Good. Right. Well, shut up then, and I'll do the closing. Ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the State of Ethnic/Wrestling Address. Tanvir Verdi has been once again a magnificent co-host, and we thank him dearly for coming on the SOWA, the Sour. And there's a lot of people running around that are sour at the moment about me. I can tell you that much, hun. But from myself, Aaron, and from Tanvir, thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Plug. Fucking right up there. The old Jaws of Life, the George Takei special. Why do you need doubles? Like that speaks more to your sex life than it does mine.
the double.
I'll Spock myself, thank you very much.
What do you just do? Oh,
I can derelict my own balls, thank you very much.
I can jerk myself off, thank you.